Good morning, Miss Bell's class. We're working on a test today, and these are going to be all in different orders, but I want to go over some of these problems with you. I have on the board here what I'm presenting to the students that are in class today. Once you come across this problem, a squared minus a minus 56, the help that I could give to you is, to think about the two numbers that you multiply to get negative 56. So two numbers, you multiply them together. But then when you add them together, you get negative 1. So that's that negative a there. So two numbers you multiply together to get negative 56, but then when you add them together, you get negative 1. Okay? This one, x squared minus 9x, when you come across this one, and you could pause this and search your questions as you move forward. You want to factor out the x. One other thing you might want to do is go through all this, because these are all the problems. You could write answers down and then get into your test, and then take your test and you have your answers all written out there for you. So that's could be a way to do it also. But anyways, factor out the x. So you're going to take the x out. So you're going to have x, and then you're going to have parentheses, another x minus what? That 9 times that x. So I almost gave you the whole answer. I can't do that. Let's move on to the next one. We have 4k squared minus 9. The only way I could describe this is you want to evenly split the 4k squared. So by that I mean you're going to break it up into 2k. So 2k times 2k gives you 4k squared, is what I mean by that. And then you got to think of two numbers you multiply to get negative 9. Okay, so one's going to be positive, one's going to be negative. The two numbers you get to multiply to get 9. All right, that's taking the square root for that one. Okay, for p squared plus 5p plus 4, you want to think of two numbers you multiply to get 4, but then you add those two numbers and you get 5. Okay, think about it. Think about all the multiples of 4, or factors. Think of all the factors, the factors of 4. There's only a few of them. What two of them do you add together to get 5? Okay, this one. I've done the first step for you. You have this 3v squared that it equals, so you have to subtract that from both sides, so it actually ends up being like this. And then when you use your quadratic formula, you're going to have as your a 1, your b is going to be negative 10, your c is going to be 16. And remember that quadratic formula, of which I should have over here, you might want to write this down, is x equals, we have negative b plus or minus b minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, let me back that up so you can see it. Make sure you have that, because you're going to be using that a lot. All right, so that's where my a, b's, and c's come from for that problem there. Okay, for this one, I have 3k squared minus 2k equals 0. My a is a 3, my b is a negative 2, my c is a 0. I don't have anything back there. And so you plug that in to your quadratic formula for your a, b's, and c's and work it on out. There's also a quadratic formula calculator from Calculator Soup that is very helpful. You just plug in the a, b, and c. Make sure you follow the steps in order to see how you would get the answer. Here I have my a, my b, and my c, negative 119 for that problem there, to get you started on it. You're going to come across a couple of these. You're going to simplify these square roots. Now, I'm giving you a big hint here in that the square root of 96 here, you're going to think of 16 as the perfect square to use for simplifying. So that's one of the numbers that you're going to break up that 96, and you're going to be able to take a square, a square root out of that square root bracket. Here's a square root of negative 28. The number that one of the numbers you're going to use here to break up 28 is 4. 4 is the perfect square to use for simplifying this problem. When you get to this problem, you're supposed to solve by taking the square, by solving it by square rooting. So you have to first get rid of this 251 on this side. So you are going to subtract 251 from both sides. So you end up with 5n squared minus 245 equals 0. You factor out the 5. And so my hint for you here is, the square root of 49. Or what two numbers, the same number, can you multiply in order to get 49? Okay, that's going to be your answer for that one. Okay, moving on to this problem right here. I have your A, B, and your C listed, and you're going to plug those into your quadratic equation, your formula. Once again, this one, I have your A, B, and C listed. Once again, put it into your quadratic formula. Some hints on these. I did the first step for you. I got rid of those parentheses, so it's actually going to look like this. And then from there, you need to take it from there, combine the like terms. That's pretty much all you're doing. For this one, I want to remind you you're multiplying, so use FOIL. First, outside, inside, last. So take the firsts, multiply them. Take the outsides, multiply those. Take the insides, multiply those. And take the lasts, multiply those. And then combine like terms like you did up here. And remember, for I squared is going to equal -1. So remember that one for this one, because I squared is going to equal -1. That's going to help you get to your final answer. 6p squared plus 5p minus 8 equals 0. And so I have my A, my B, and my C. And I want to remind you on this one to work all the way through until you get decimals. So don't leave it like a fraction. You're not going to see that in your answer. Your answers are going to be decimals. And for this one, I believe that's the bonus. So the one thing I would tell you is, you want to start over here. Use your order of operations. I times I is I squared. Remember, I squared is equal to -1. So that might help you get started. And then you're just going to combine like terms. Hopefully this was helpful, and good luck with this test.